Breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ. Kenny Atkinson will be the next head coach of the Charlotte Hornets. That's according to multiple reports. Atkinson had a 4-year run as head coach of the Brooklyn Nets that ended in 2020 with just one playoff appearance. Currently working as an assistant for the Warriors. ESPN reports that Atkinson has agreed to a 4-year deal in Charlotte. He replaces James Borrego, who was fired in April. Get some instant reaction here. Welcome CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Reiter, who joins us ahead of Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Bill, some news coming down here. Kenny Atkinson to the Charlotte Hornets. What's your reaction to the hire by Michael Jordan?
My reaction is that it's certainly a safe hire, at least in the old school way of thinking. Obviously, Kenny has a ton of experience, has been a head coach in the NBA, not just an assistant for many other years, but an assistant with some really good teams under some really good coaches. And you just referenced he'll be on this floor later as an assistant coach for this Warriors team as they take on the Celtics here in the finals. Although I'll say this, certainly the trend towards successful hires over the last several years has been names that the average fan wouldn't know, but that were well known in league circles or just known to the people making the decisions, whether it's Nick Nurse or Ime Udoka or the other folks we can point to who were elevated from positions as assistants, known behind the scenes, and were able to obviously have a huge impact. This certainly, good or bad, reflects the way that Michael Jordan's done things for a long time, which is maybe a little bit behind the times in terms of what the patterns have been around the NBA.
It was reported that the decision came down to Mike D'Antoni and Kenny Atkinson. Ultimately, they go with Atkinson. And when you're talking about developing young talent the way the Hornets need to over these next couple of years, defensive accountability, not what D'Antoni's known for. Looking at the decision through that lens, is this the right decision for a young core like Charlotte?
Yeah, it's a great point. And I think, when it comes down to those two guys being the finalists, for all the reasons you just laid out, it is the right decision. I know Mike a little bit, covered him a little bit. Great guy. I mean, Mike D'Antoni is an incredible guy, and I don't think it's going too far. Certainly people around the NBA that are walking around this floor behind me would say he's a literal genius when it comes to offense. But setting boundaries, building the right culture, dealing with the difficulties and the egos and the struggles of superstars and burgeoning superstars, that's probably not at the top of Mike D'Antoni's list of his strengths. To say the least, Atkinson's a different story and a different deal. Very well respected in this Warriors locker room that obviously has some more youth guys, more youth that has contributed. And we've seen some development in this Warriors culture of young players like Jordan Poole, Kevon Looney, players who maybe weren't expected to do big things but have. So from that standpoint, it's a very good decision compared to D'Antoni. And let me say this, you don't know on a coach, experience, no experience, big name, not a big name, until they get into a place and they have an opportunity. And certainly this is a hire of a guy who's really well respected around the NBA and could turn out to be a very good decision.
All right, so Bill, we've now got 2 assistants on Steve Kerr's staff getting head coaching jobs. Mike Brown going to the Kings, now Kenny Atkinson going to the Hornets. What, if any, impact does that have here on the finals? I know these guys are locked in, but players get wind of this news. They hear about it. They think, okay, how does this impact the Warriors as they play rest of the way here in the finals?
Yeah, Keem, great question. I think it would have a huge impact, potentially, if it were the Dallas Mavericks or even the Boston Celtics, teams that have not been there, the core that has not been there. This is obviously a Golden State Warriors team with Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson in leadership positions who understand all the things and all the frantic nature and all the pressure and all the realities of not just being in NBA Finals, but success. So I think this organization, the culture they have, the very thing that I think attracted those two organizations to hire those 2 assistants, not just their experience, but the culture that they have been a part of building and being a part of and witnessing here in Golden State, I think will protect the Warriors from the kind of letdown or distraction that would happen with an organization maybe not as accustomed to this kind of success and therefore this kind of an outcome where your coach is getting hired in June while you're still competing for a championship.
Hornets haven't been in the playoffs since 2016. They were in the play-in game, but that's not the playoffs. So let's be clear about that. And Kenny Atkinson, now the tall task in front of him, trying to lead Charlotte back to the postseason. Bill Reiter joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. Bill, thanks.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.